Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
And welcome to the Kulturecast. I am your host, Chris Stachiw, and I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Eric Kniss.
What in the fuck is happening?
Oscar turmoil is what's happening.
Oh, who gives a shit? Honestly, who cares?
Honestly, I agree. I don't like the Oscars one bit.
I'm just really glad that La La Land didn't win.
Even though it did. I'm glad that La La Land lost in the most embarrassing fashion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, no ill will to anyone involved with that film, but that film was just not good.
Does anybody else, and I know I'm just posing this question to you, but if anybody listening to this wants to actually chime in, did anybody feel like that was totally staged?
It felt like it was staged, but at the same time, like, I don't think, I'm not going to give the Academy that much credit.
It felt staged to me.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, for sure, but it, like, I don't know. It felt staged, but at the same time, like, I don't think they're that smart.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I've talked about this in the past. My intense dislike for the Academy for a number of reasons. Goodfellas not winning when Dances with Wolves. Yeah.
The sequel, Dances Against Wolves,
yeah,
was nowhere close to winning. So yeah. I don't know why we're talking about that one.
When that movie won over Goodfellas, the fact that Scorsese's win was for The Departed, which is not as good as Goodfellas. Shakespeare in Love winning over Saving Private Ryan. I don't know, like the Academy's so white thing, that's never been my issue with the Academy. I know that that's a lot of people's problems, but my issue with the Academy has always been the Academy just loves to pick these films that are just like self-masturbatory.
Yeah.
They love films about Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, it's because that's the only thing that people in Hollywood couldn't relate to because they live in this weird, surreal bubble. And so normal people like you and me will watch a movie and go, oh my God, I feel so connected to that character because that character is totally me. And everybody in Hollywood doesn't know what that feels like until somebody writes a movie about Hollywood.
Yeah, but I don't know. There was just so much about that movie that was just like off-putting.
I don't know. I didn't see it, so I'm not going to talk shit on it.
You're not going to see it either. I know you won't.
No, I won't see it. You know what? I'll watch it one night when it's like on Netflix, and I have literally gone through every other movie that I could think of to watch. And I'm a little drunk, and I'm just drinking a bottle of wine to myself and some fucking Ben and Jerry's, and I've already watched like 4 Matthew McConaughey rom-coms, and then I'll watch that movie.
Scum. I mean, let's be honest here. The worst thing to come out of the Oscars was the fact that Suicide Squad is an Oscar-winning film.
Wait, what? It won an Oscar?
It won an Oscar for like best makeup. and costume design.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Over the Star Trek movie that came out last year. Like, what in the holy hell?
What?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I mean, essentially what happened was the atheists are right. There is no God. That's what. There is no God.
Well, yeah, I've been saying that for years, but what does that have to do with Suicide Squad?
No God in their right mind would allow Suicide Squad to win an Oscar.
Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Oh,
but we're not here to talk about Suicide Squad or the fail Oscars. I mean, just further solidifying the fact that the Oscars just like are not a thing that anyone who takes movies seriously should be watching. Like it's just true. It's just one of those things. It's really just one of those things that exists to glorify the industry, an industry that, man, for every bright shining light, there's like 30,000 dark corners that they just ignore or that get covered up. So we're here to talk about Get Out, Jordan Peele's directorial debut, one half of Key and Peele. His directorial debut came out last Friday, February 24th. We saw it this weekend. IMDb synopsis for the film is: a young African-American man visits his Caucasian girlfriend's mysterious family estate.
You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend. I just don't want you to be shocked that he's a black man.
I ain't never seen you like this before, bruh. Meeting families and taking road trips. Don't come back all bougie, man. Come back, get your damn pants up to your damn stomach.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Call me Dean and you hug me, my man.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
How bad can it be?
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here. Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here. Get out. Sorry, man. Okay. Get out! Yo! Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
Rose, the keys. Just get the keys.
I don't know where they are.
Rose!
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
No.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Eric, I kind of had to coerce you into watching this film because you wanted to watch A Cure for Wellness, which you hated.
Yeah, I watched it, and it was the worst.
I'm kind of glad I went on my honeymoon to Japan when I did, because it essentially forced us to pick something to watch. So we watched Get Out, which is currently getting rave reviews from everywhere but the National Review. So with that in mind, Mr. Kniss, begrudgingly watching this film a little bit, maybe not so much. What did you think of the film?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great. It's both classic and very unique at the same time, which is wonderful. Like, there's a lot of spots in the movie where I'm just like, damn, this makes me think of some of my favorite 80s horror movies. And then there are parts in the movie where you laugh it's really funny in a lot of segments. Like, I don't know. I mean, when I saw it, I was laughing at like several parts of the movie. Like, unironically, I was not laughing at the movie. I was laughing because it was funny.
There's a lot of comedy in the film.
Yeah, but like nobody else in the theater was laughing at first. Like, they didn't know if it was okay to laugh during a horror movie. And then by the end of the movie, like when funny shit happens, you know, everybody in the theater was having a good time. And that's like, I've talked about this before, how a lot of my favorite movies are about like the movie going and the movie like watching experience. Like, how much fun did I have like at the movie watching the movie? It was fun, man. It was just a really fun movie. It was smart. It's a cool concept. I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. And yeah, I mean, the reason I was so skeptical about this movie is, somebody that I know saw the movie early, like 2 or 3 months ago. They were working on like an ad campaign for it or something, and they got to see it ahead of time. I don't know if it was the finished cut or not, or what was going on, but they said that it wasn't good. They were like, yeah, this movie is not good. You're not going to like it. And I was like, oh, bummer. So I just had that thought in the back of my head for like the last like 3 months. And then this weekend, everybody's like, holy shit, it's the best. And so I went and saw it, and they're not wrong. I don't know if it's, I don't know. It's currently got what, like a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes or something ridiculous?
Getting ahead of yourself. Yeah, it has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. The one negative review has come from the National Review.
Yeah. I don't know if it deserves the 100% or the 99%. If I had to give it a percentage, it wouldn't be that high, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. But
the let's not forget, the National Review is a conservative newspaper. Like a conservative.
I don't even know.
It's a conservative published magazine.
Well, I kind of figured that the one negative review was going to come from just some like angry white people. So
ooh, put them on fucking blast already. Let's do it.
I will, dude. Fuck the white people. Let's go.
Ooh, kill Whitey. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm down. Kill all humans.
It's true. We need to turn this planet back over to the dung beetles.
Heck, can we have the Matrix? I just want our robot overlords to take over. The Matrix or Terminator or whatever.
Can we just have John Wick 2?
Oh yeah. That's a topic for another podcast.
A podcast that will never happen. It's good. End of story.
It's a really fucking good movie. Go see it. Done.
I was the one who championed wanting to go see this film. The two of us. So yeah, I never doubted that this was going to be a good movie. The political climate that this film is coming out in is a little tenuous at best. I mean, this is a very topical film for this country right now, with race relations being what they are and all that. And I frankly, like, I don't want to talk about that stuff with this film.
You know what? And I don't think that this movie is about that. Like,
it's not. I mean, it's not. It is, but it isn't. Like, if you want to sit and like, let's read into it and let's really dissect every single scene, like it is. But at the same time, like, it stands on its own without any of that.
It doesn't beat you over the head with any, like, it just doesn't, it didn't ever feel preachy to me.
No,
like,
because it's not.
Because it's not. It's just a good-ass movie whose premise happens to be what it is.
Its premise is it's a Guess Who's Coming to Dinner as a horror movie. Or for people who don't understand that reference, a.k.a. anyone who's younger than you and I, it's Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller as a black man as a horror movie.
Yeah. And I mean, you could say that this movie is like really politically sort of topical right now, but you could say that about this movie 10 years ago. You could say that about this movie 20 years ago. You could say that about this movie for forever.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner came out in 1967. So, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is still topical now because, you know, that's just the way it goes. So, you know, you're completely right. So, but at the same time, like, with this country the way it is now, they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, this is so topical to this country right now. It's like, well,
that's like, I'm sure I can already hear the people, and I haven't read any of the reviews on this movie yet. I glanced at the IMDb score, and that was about it. But I can already hear any negative reviews on this movie just being, it's anti-white. That is your negative review of this movie, is somebody is going to be butthurt that it's anti-white people.
But it's not.
And it's not. It's not even a little bit.
It could have gone that way, but I think the characters in this movie just happen to be white.
Well, and then the other characters just happen to be black. It's not like, I mean, I don't know. I understand.
The reason that they explain away why the characters are black, like the reason the characters in the situation they are is why they're black, I think it works to the movie's advantage to kind of quell some of the it's an anti-white thing.
Well, yeah, and we can get a little bit more in depth in that later when we start talking specifics about the movie. You and I are both white. For people who don't know, we're white. We're very white. We're about as white as it gets. And I don't know, when I saw this movie, I didn't feel slighted at all. Like, I didn't feel bad for being white. I just thought I was watching a really awesome horror movie.
Yeah, and, you know, like you said, as two white men who we can sympathize, but we can't exactly understand in a firsthand nature the the persecution of what it's like to be black in this country or any country in the world for that matter. You know, I'm sure it rings a little bit more true if you are black and you go to see this film. But at the same time, we as human beings have all been in a similar situation, regardless of color.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, I mean, the movie that this film has the most in common with, for me, and I don't know where you stand on this, is Rosemary's Baby. I mean, this is essentially a racially charged Rosemary's Baby.
Kind of, yeah.
Or, we just go back to it's Rosemary's Baby crossed with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Or it's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner crossed with the Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of like weird.
Yeah, but if you say Stepford Wives, then you kind of give away where the movie's going. Because I kind of guessed where the movie was going ahead of time. Oh, yeah. Because like they don't really like try to hide it.
Yeah, and that's we've talked about this with probably every movie that we've talked about, where my only gripe with movies that come out, well, not my only gripe, but my main gripe with all new movies is that when they come out, they give away everything in the trailer. So I feel like I saw half of this movie when I watched the first trailer like 2 months ago. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this movie. And I don't mean to say don't go see this movie because you saw it all in the trailer, because you really didn't. But if you watched the trailer or trailers, you can pretty much suss out what happens unless you're like a total fucking idiot.
Yeah. No, I agree. And there are a couple twists in the film, like the specifics of what's going on.
Sure, yeah.
But I think again, this is kind of a symptom of the Hollywood trailer disease that we've been having in the last decade, where anyone thinks that to sell a movie, you have to show like a third of the movie. And it's not like a third from the beginning third. It's like
you got to spoon feed it to people.
It's like a sixth of every third of the film. So it's just like, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
That they revealed so much in the trailer about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should have sold this movie as not a horror movie and like have it like become a horror movie like organically for the audience watching it.
Oh my God, dude. They could have sold this movie as a Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, like kind of quirky, like comedy-ish, like black comedy type of deal.
You mean like a dark comedy?
Like a dark comedy, yeah. Like that kind of black comedy, not like
not like Girls Trip.
Not oh my God, which there was a preview for when I saw it and I was like,
a Red Band trailer in my theater.
Ooh.
I had never seen a Red Band trailer before. In a theater.
In a theater?
Mm-mm.
They showed one in a theater?
Yeah.
Where did you see this movie?
I saw this movie today at a movie theater on the south side of Lincoln, and I saw it at 2:20 in the afternoon. So maybe that's why they showed a Red Band trailer.
Because it was you and 4 other people in the movie.
Me and 3 other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yet they still took it upon themselves to charge me $10.
Well, I mean, I went and saw this movie last night at like 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and it was absolutely packed. It was crazy. It was a full theater.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, the movie, biggest opening of the weekend, I believe. So this movie for me is similar to Don't Breathe in that it's not really a horror movie.
I beg to differ, dude.
It's got like horror tropes, but at the end of the day, honestly, like it's more of like a thriller than a horror movie.
There is a subgenre called horror thrillers, which toe the line.
I think that this is more thriller than horror, honestly.
Honestly, and I mean, we talked about this with Don't Breathe and everything like that, where that was like my favorite movie of the year last year, and I totally believe that that's a horror movie, even though it's like a home invasion thriller movie. But I think this movie is even more of a horror movie than that movie. You know, it's got all these, like, I mean, without talking specifics, it has a lot of sections of it that just don't happen in like normal thriller movies. You know, I don't know. For me, it's a total horror movie. Watching it, the score says horror, the way that it's shot says horror, the subject matter is definitely horror. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be supernatural or, you know, overly gory to be a horror movie, which...
No, but I mean, again, this is... You can agree with me that this is approachable horror for mainstream audiences.
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah. Which I think, unfortunately, when a film comes out like that, unless you're a major franchise player like Blair Witch, you know, Nightmare, Friday, Halloween.
Sure, the ones that everybody's like, oh,
it's like,
yeah.
It's a little bit, the genre is a tad diluted for mainstream audiences.
Yeah. I mean, you could even say that, like, you know, the Saw movies are not horror movies.
They're not. Like, I mean, they're not.
They're like they're like detective thriller movies.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Especially the first movie, which I watched like semi recently, and I was like, I forgot how like procedural that movie is. There's so much cop stuff in that movie. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is like a freaking cop procedural movie with like a bunch of torture shit like strewn in between. It's like Seven, only not as good.
Ooh.
I'll say it.
I agree. I mean, I would agree Saw is not really a horror movie.
No, I'm not saying that Saw is totally a horror movie.
I don't think it is. I mean, that's the thing. I think for me, my definition of a horror movie is like,
yeah.
I don't know.
What's your definition? What's the threshold? Like, how far over the line do you have to go for it to become a horror movie?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, what is below the threshold and what's above the threshold? Like, for me, this is below the threshold. So was Don't Breathe. Above the threshold, I mean, that the problem is, like, above the threshold, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Like,
sure,
The Exorcist is above the threshold, but I think The Exorcist is barely above the threshold.
Oh, wow. So, like, even movies with things like, you know, straight up demonic possession in them and everything is only barely above the threshold?
I think The Exorcist is a drama.
I mean, it totally is.
It's like a horror drama, but, like, I don't know.
The first half of the movie is totally a drama, and then the second half of the movie just gets fucking outrageous.
Yeah, okay. But there's so much in that movie that takes place before that latter half. Like, that, it's not even half. It's like the last third of that movie is a horror movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, that's an interesting conversation to have, because in this day and age, like, the horror genre is being tugged in so many different directions.
Yeah.
That I just, like, hold on. That I think for me, you know, I like all these movies, and I think that it's good that these kind of movies are coming out, these films that kind of take the genre in different directions. But I think, like, if we're talking horror, like, movies that are just, like, will always be horror movies for me, like Nightmare on Elm Street, or...
Totally. I mean, I love that we have all these movies now that are towing the line between, like, drama and thriller and horror, and they're like these approachable things. But there's always been movies like this that are like towing the line, that are kind of like the mainstream-ish horror movies. But then a lot of them, there's a lot of movies that are like this that are just not mainstream, because they toe the line, but they toe the line in a really, really brutal, horrific, like, way, where, like, maybe just like the sheer amount of violence or gore, like, tips it onto, like, the horror side too much for, like, a normal person.
Right.
But for 75% of the movie, it's still just like a really tense thriller or drama or whatever, and then there's like a couple sequences that just throw it completely into horror territory because somebody gets fucking dismembered or whatever. And I think it's all about, I think a horror movie is really about the tone of the movie, more than the subject matter. So there's supernatural horror movies, there's, you know, religious horror movies, there's realistic horror movies, there's sci-fi horror movies. You could make a horror movie about anything. And I think that's like, this movie takes, you know, the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner angle at writing a horror movie, and it did a perfect job.
Would you say that Split is a horror movie?
Split is not a horror movie.
It's classified as a horror movie.
I would not classify that as a horror movie.
So what's your threshold? That's my point. It's like, that's the thing. It's like it's so different for everybody. Like, would you consider 10 Cloverfield Lane a horror movie?
No.
But it's kind of lumped into that.
Yeah.
It's just that's the thing for me is like the horror genre, I think as we know it, is slowly disappearing, and that's fine. Like I'm not sad about that.
I think it's not disappearing. I think what's happening is there's no longer a hard line, and it's more of a gray area,
right.
And that gray area threshold is now growing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The hard lines of horror are disappearing. Like that genre where it's like, this is a straightforward horror film. That's not going to be a thing 10 years from now.
Yeah. I mean, it will be. There's always going to be purists who are just going to be like, I'm going to do a fucking straight up horror movie, and you're going to know it from the second.
Yeah. But if they want to get that movie made for mainstream audiences want to like be successful, then they have to do what Get Out did, or what The Witch did, or what The Conjuring does, or what It Follows did. Where you
dude, you're gonna see we're gonna see movies. It's just,
but they're not going to make $33 million on their opening weekend.
It's just what is well, yeah, of course, a horror movie, a straight up like go to the movie because it's a fucking horror movie is not going to make $30 million.
That's my
in the
point.
First weekend ever.
That's my point.
I would be amazed because your audience is so small in comparison to other movies.
So that's why I'm saying a lot of horror directors are going to go this route because they know that's how they A, can get the movie made and released by a major studio, and B, it'll actually be set up to be more successful.
I think that this movie specifically had a lot of things going for it that were going to bring a bunch of people outside of your standard like horror movie goers to this movie.
Right, because it has something to say.
Yeah, it's the subject matter is gonna totally bring in an audience of people that would never normally go see a movie like a standard horror movie. The fact that it's Jordan Peele's movie is going to bring in a ton of people who are fans of his to go and see this movie, whether or not they go and see horror movies, because they're just like, holy shit, he did a horror movie? What? I want to see what that is. I want to see what that's like.
But I would like to point out to people who say that there are a fair number of like horror themed sketches on Key and Peele.
Oh yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah, so it's like even Jordan Peele's like sensibilities are like the horror aspect to it is always there.
Well, and if you talk to anybody who's like and I shouldn't say anybody, but a lot of the quote unquote comedians or like comedic writers and actors that I've talked to or met or read interviews from and things like that, they're all genre fans, man. They all love sci-fi and horror and just genre movies in general. Like, they're not sitting there like going, oh, I'm going to go see, whatever like shitty comedy is out right now. They're like, no, I'm going to go see, this weird horror movie or like this crazy sci-fi movie that like nobody's ever heard of.
Because genre films are where the exciting stuff is happening. That's where that's where exciting film is happening. Like, no offense to films like La La Land, or I don't know, Hidden Figures or Lion, but those movies are pretty just like straightforward dramas. Or like a strange musical thing that I don't think works very well. But
who cares?
The exciting films are happening in the genres. The genre films are where exciting film and interesting film is happening. It's where people are taking chances. It's where people have been taking chances for decades now. I mean, Wes Craven, Sean Cunningham, Roger Corman, James Gunn. I mean, these, some of these were full-time horror directors. Some of them transitioned from horror to fucking superhero movies. I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that James Gunn, who made Slither, would have made one of Marvel's best comic book films.
It's true.
I would have thought you were insane. Or Jon Favreau, the originator of the MCU, the original MCU film, Iron Man was directed by Jon Favreau, who was doing genre comedy films before he did Iron Man.
It's true.
The people in, you have these other cases, but I mean, for the most part, genre films are where the exciting film is happening, for me at least.
It's always. My favorite movies of the year are always going to be genre movies. They're the only movies that I go see anymore.
Right.
If it doesn't have some sort of genre, and God, I hate using that word to describe several genres of movies, but if it doesn't have some sort of element to it that sets it apart from just like a standard drama, I'm like, the chances of me seeing it are really, really slim.
Agreed. I agree. And that might be a little callous of us to say, but at the same time, like, man, it's because they're taking chances with those movies.
Yeah, I want to see something that's cool and different. Like, give me something smart. Give me something weird. Give me something that's going to make me think, I mean, I don't know. Of all the movies that were nominated for Best Picture, I'm pretty sure the only two that I saw were Arrival, which I thought was the best made movie of the year last year, and Hell or High Water. I think that was nominated for Best Picture.
And they were both genre films. Well,
Hell or High Water is a modern Western, which I will say Westerns are genre movies.
Right. And Arrival is like sci-fi.
It's like a sci-fi drama.
It's sci-fi for the mainstream.
But it's still like, I think
it's not hard sci-fi. Just like Get Out is not hard horror. And let's be honest here. And this is something we can circle right back to the Academy. No hard horror movie, no hard comedy, no hard action movie, no hard sci-fi is ever going to get nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture ever.
No, and I don't think that it should.
Happen. Agreed. I agree, but at the same time, like, it also just kind of discounts whole genres of films. Like,
yeah, But I mean,
award shows have so much more to them than just, this is the best film of the year. Like, there's so much more going on. Like, and if you think there isn't, go talk to someone who's involved in the film industry, and they will clue you into, there's way more going on than just, these are the good films.
Yeah, no.
There's an agenda. There's an agenda.
Yeah, and
it's essentially whose agenda is going to win over other people's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people,
political elections.
Yeah, and that's why people aren't going to like this film. Like you said, there are some people that are going to be like, this is anti-white.
Oh, I'm sure there already are people.
Oh, there are.
I'm sure there are people that haven't even seen the movie that are like, this movie is anti-white, I'm boycotting it.
The only negative review for the film says that it's a return of the Get Whitey movie.
And Get Whitey is bad?
I mean, I don't know what the hell Get Whitey means. What does that even mean, Get Whitey?
I don't know. Who's out to get Whitey? Literally nobody. You can't. That's
And then the writer for the National Review, Armand White, also complains about the fact that
of course his name is Armand White,
but he's black.
Oh no. The plot has thickened so much.
Right. But that's the thing about him is he also talks about how the film is slow, it has a slow pace, and all this other stuff. So
I mean, it is kind of a slow movie, it's
very much a slow burn film. I won't argue that.
I never felt bored. And you know what I really noticed about this movie, and I guess this is kind of getting into specifics now, that has been bothering me about a lot of movies recently, and I've kind of mentioned this a couple times on the podcast, is the musical cues on this movie are fantastic.
It's been bothering you that there are good musical cues?
No, it's been bothering me that the musical cues in movies have been taking me out of the movie. They have been bad musical cues that I've been going,
oh, and so this movie has good ones.
And so this movie, the musical cues in this movie are fantastic. And for me, a lot of what is going to make a horror movie is the way that it's shot. So the shots that you line up and how you light them and everything like that. And then the musical cues that go along with it. The musical cues in a horror movie are these big, drastic, dramatic, like quick changing things that make you feel scared before you even see something scary. And they're very different than any like other musical cues in any other like drama or thriller or whatever. And this movie has like some of the most dramatic musical cues I've heard in a really long time, and it's fantastic.
Right. I agree. I think that, you know, a good horror movie really lives or dies by its music.
Yeah, it's true. And this movie has so many different weird musical cues in it, like, and it just turns on a dime, and it's wonderful. I thought it was great. And I don't know, as like a musician and like a music nerd, like that's the kind of shit that I think about, like when I'm in a movie, when I'm at the cinema.
Oh, I dare say, my sweet erudite man.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, and let's not get ahead of ourselves though, because the performances in this film are great.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. It's actually, as far as like horror movies go, and I mean, both of us watch a lot of horror movies. It's definitely some of the best like performances I've seen in a horror movie in like the last couple of years. Like I can probably count on one hand like how many horror movies had like near flawless performances, and this is one of them.
Daniel Kaluuya as Chris Washington, the lead in the film. Mm-hmm. I have seen very few actors who can emote with their eyes as well as he can.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, the whole story of the film is told through his eyes, and I'm not talking about like from his perspective. I'm talking about his character is like. His eyes are super emotive.
Yeah,
there's a reason that like the posters for this film focus on his eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't so hot on Allison Williams until the end of the film.
Yeah. I mean, she just plays this whatever white girl for like the first like 2/3 of the movie. And then like at the very end, all of a sudden it just changes completely. And I don't know if we're talking spoilers yet, but I mean, we can talk about that later.
Let's wrap up pre-spoiler talk and let's move into spoiler talk. So pre-spoiler, final thoughts on the film, and then we'll talk spoilers.
Pre-spoiler, final thought on the movie. It's awesome. If you like horror movies, even a little bit, go and see this movie. It's fantastic. It's just really well made. It's something different that like you haven't seen. It's something that I haven't seen in a really long time. It feels both, I said this at the beginning, it feels both nostalgic and unique at the same time, which is something that just doesn't happen anymore. You either get movies that are really like pandery to like old, movies or old genres or things like that, or you just get, I don't know, remakes. That's it. You just get shit that either is a straight up ripoff or feels like a straight up ripoff. And this movie doesn't at all. It's something completely new and wonderful, and it's great.
I mean, I echo everything you say. I'll say this much. The premise for this film on paper sounds like a Key and Peele sketch joke.
It feels like they probably came up with it as a joke and then went, wait, you could do this like in a serious way, and it could be really
And then Jordan
brutal.
Peele was like, I'm going to do it as a full film.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, it really is like, if you think about it, if someone wrote it, like if you just read it as like a short story prompt or like anything else, you would be like, yeah, this is like this sounds like a Key and Peele sketch idea, or someone like said it to you.
If you gave me the 30-second pitch on this, you could take it as either a full-fledged horror movie or as like a full-on joke skit. And knowing who wrote it, my first instinct would be that it's a joke.
What a fucking directorial debut from Jordan Peele. I mean, you can't beat this as your directorial debut.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
As long as he keeps on this track, like he could very well be making some of the next couple like decades best horror films.
Oh, I'm sure Jason Blum is not going to let Jordan Peele out of his clutches anytime soon. I bet we're going to see a Jordan Peele horror movie once every few years for like the next like 5 years.
And he is in the early running right now for my best like new talent of the year, because we gave it, I want to say last year I gave it to Dan Trachtenberg for 10 Cloverfield Lane. This year, I mean, he's already in the running this year for best new debut.
I can't imagine a better candidate for it, because it's somebody that we all know already, but it's somebody who's doing something so different than what we all know him for, and doing it really, really, really fucking good. So I want to see more. I'm whatever the next Jordan Peele genre movie is, I'm in. I don't even, just tell me that he's doing it and that it's a genre movie, and I will go and see it.
I agree. I agree 100%. So let's talk a little bit of spoilers, because that's what we're going to be talking from here on out.
Yep.
Like we've said, the fact that it's like black people having their part of their brain replaced by white people's brain so that they can live forever, and being black is like in fashion, in vogue. It's not particularly a surprising twist. Kind of see it coming.
The thing that caught me by surprise was the whole brain swapping thing. I thought that it was like I thought that it was all going to center around the hypnosis, and that it was just going to be like, God, what's Chris's friend's name in the movie? The TSA guy, Rod, the whole time is saying like they're hypnotizing him and they're making him into sex slaves and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, dude. I thought from the previews, from the premise, that that's what it was going to be, and then they took it another step further and went, nope, we're replacing most of your brain with somebody else's brain, so that you have like a very small amount of like, you know, just your base like reptilian self will still be there in your body, but the rest of it, you're basically a passenger watching somebody else control your body and your life. That for me was a really cool, really nice surprise. And I think that for me is what tips this movie, you know, aside from the way that it's shot and the musical cues and the acting and everything, into the horror genre, as opposed to being like a drama or a thriller. I mean, when you start doing like mad scientist medical procedures in your basement and auctioning off people to the highest bidder for said purposes, that's where it turns into a horror movie for me.
Yeah, you know, again, I mean, our thresholds are different, but it is that the end of the film is the horror aspect of the film.
Yeah.
But it really, I mean, yeah, like the film is quite slow and doesn't really pick up until like the last 20 minutes.
It really like it builds this feeling of like really, really like deep uneasiness
and claustrophobia.
Throughout the entire movie. And the part that like really, God, there were so many parts that just drove this home like with a fucking sledgehammer. Like the part where they're at the party with like all these old white people and everything like that, and Chris goes upstairs and he's walking through the house and he's like kind of freaking out, and he's like, why is everything so weird? And he's like, this is so weird. And it's like not weird enough for you to be like, some shit's fucked up, like we need to get the fuck out of here, but it's like also weird enough for you to be like unnerved about it. And you can feel that, like the movie makes, it made me feel that way while I was sitting there watching it. And so he like kind of is like, oh shit, okay, I just need to get away from this for a second. I'm going to go upstairs, I'm going to grab my phone, and I'm going to hit my friend up and just like make sure that I'm not crazy. And he walks through the house and everybody's having these loud conversations with each other, and it's all these older white people and everything. And then the second that he makes it all the way up the stairs, all of them stop immediately and look upstairs and listen to him walking around the second story of the house. And I just fucking lost it in the theater. I was like, oh my God, what? It's like that moment is like the turning point where all of your paranoia is now real. It was crazy.
Well,
I liked it.
And yeah, I mean, that's the whole Rosemary's Baby aspect of the film, right? I mean, it's is everyone out to get me? Am I as paranoid as I think, or is this real? And I think that scene is really great. I also like pretty much any scene with Caleb Landry Jones, because he plays, God, just like the biggest fucking dickhead.
Oh my God,
but like a
dude.
Strange dickhead. Like he's like a very like it's like weird. It's like strange aggression.
Yeah.
He's trying to test Chris's limits in the film. But man, like what a great performance.
Yeah, and he doesn't do a lot in the movie. He's not in the movie a lot. Like his character is really a side character, even secondary to like the parent. And so
But he does their bidding. I mean, he's the one who kidnaps the character who ends up being Logan later in the film. I mean, he's the one who kidnaps him.
Yeah, right in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, when the movie starts off with this guy, this black guy, just walking through, and I don't know, like, he was supposed to, I guess, meet somebody somewhere. Like, somebody was like, oh, yeah, like, come meet me out here or whatever.
Well, I'm assuming they kind of lead on that Jeremy's like tactics for getting people to turn in to have their brains removed. They kind of lead on that like his methods are a little bit more sloppy than Allison Williams, who, by the way, her character is evil in the film. But I wasn't particularly surprised by that.
No, I mean, you know what? I was like, okay, she's in on it, and then I was like, wait, maybe she's not in on it. Maybe she's, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, maybe she's not in on it. And then I was like, okay, maybe she is in on it. And then I was like, maybe she's in on it, but she's hypnotized so that she doesn't know that she's in on it. So she keeps, like, her thing is black guys. And so she keeps dating these black guys and then brings them home to meet her parents. And then her parents take them and then they hypnotize her so that she forgets about it. And then she just keeps doing it. And
I honestly, I don't know how you feel about this. I felt like it would have been a much more interesting film if she hadn't been in on it.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, like not the whole film, but like the resolution of the film. Because like, you know, I don't know, like that's so tropey in the way that they handle it. Like, of course she's in on it.
Yeah.
Like that's very much shades of Rosemary's Baby. Like, the husband's in on it because of course he is.
That being said, Rosemary's Baby is like one of my favorite movies ever of all time.
I'm surprised you like the ending because you've said on previous podcasts that you don't like movies that have happy endings. I was honestly,
happy ending?
I mean, I was honestly expecting like a Night of the Living Dead thing where he gets like lit up by the cops at the end.
That's the ending that they teased, and then it's fucking Rod that gets out of the car.
Would you have liked it more if he had just been shot at the end? Or would that have been like, oh, this is too much?
I think it would have been too much. I think
because like I honestly expected it to be the cop from the beginning of the film.
Yeah, that's what I expected. The cop from the beginning of the film, and then he just lights him up at the end, and that's it. Or he gets taken away in handcuffs, and then the cop, like, runs over to her, and she's just like, he attacked me. And I think that's what they teased at. I mean, because when the fucking cop car rolls up, Chris, like, sits back on his knees and puts his hands up in the air, like, he's like, I'm not doing shit, blah, blah, blah. And then fucking Rod gets out of the car, and you're just like, dude! I think in this instance, I'm really glad that it ended the way that it did because I
you
thought
like the
that
character
it was going
of Chris too much.
Well, because I thought it was going to end in the other way. I was waiting for that ending, and then it didn't happen. And I think that's like the thing. It's not that I don't like the quote unquote happy endings, because does this movie really have a happy ending? No.
Yes.
Not really. Chris makes it out alive, so that it's good. Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't feel like a happy ending to me. It didn't, it's not like the fucking Conjuring, where there's like the uplifting music at the end and everybody's like, yes, now we can be a family again.
Yeah, but that's because Allison Williams' character is dead.
Mm-hmm.
If he had like a romantic lead to like fall back on, I feel like it would have been it would have been a happier ending, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so, but I mean, it's like the thing where I was expecting like the full-on downer ending, and then it was just a different ending. I didn't really see it as like a happy, quote-unquote happy ending. Maybe there was a version of the movie that they shot where like he does get taken away in handcuffs or gets lit up by the cops or something at the end, and they went, maybe that's too much. Maybe we're just shitting on this guy too fucking hard.
Right. And that's what I honestly was expecting. I was expecting like a very bleak ending, but I think you're right. I think maybe it would have been a little much.
Yeah, would this movie have gotten the reviews and done as well as it's done with like such a bleak ending?
Well, I mean, let's talk about that. So I feel like if the film had gone with a bleak ending, I feel like the quote unquote message of the film would have been a lot more like pronounced.
Oh yeah, that's at that point.
And because of course a black man gets shot by the cops. Of course, an unarmed black man gets shot. Of course he does.
And I think that's why that was the ending that we were all expecting. We were all expecting him to get either lit up by the cops or arrested, like unjustly arrested by the cops for shit that, you know, like was nowhere near his fault. You know, he is the victim in this situation. And then the cop car pulls up at the end. And even in his face, in his eyes, we talked about how emotive his eyes were. He's just basically resigned himself to just be like, at the end of the movie, you can just see in his face, he's just like, I don't care what happens to me as long as I'm not here anymore. He's like, I know I'm fucked, but just take me out of here. And then it's fucking Rod. And then his buddy fucking gets out of the car and he's like, holy shit. That, I think, for me, in this situation, is like the best way, at least that I can think of, that they could have ended this movie. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the ending of this movie a lot, even though it wasn't the bleak ending that I always want out of every movie. Yeah, I think the way that they went was just better.
For someone who likes bleak endings, this movie did not deliver on the bleak ending.
No, but I also didn't, like I've said, I didn't feel like it was a happy ending either. So it was like this nice happy medium where the guy that you're rooting for the whole time makes it out. But at the same time, he doesn't quite make it out unscathed either. Like, you know, he still had to face his childhood, like, you know, horrific memories of basically him, like, leaving his mother to die, or at least he feels like he did. And also the fact that he just fucking murdered a bunch of people that tried to fucking transplant a white dude's brain into his head. So a win, sure, but a win at the cost of what?
Right. Well, and let's be honest here, you know, and this is just kind of the way horror movies are. A good protagonist is only as good as his antagonist. And man, the character of Caleb Landry Jones, you know, the character that Caleb Landry Jones plays as Jeremy is good, but Bradley Whitford and Catherine Keener as Allison Williams' parents, I mean, just two performances that are just like so creepy in like the most like loving way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, dude, Catherine Keener in this movie.
Not used to seeing her in a horror role.
No, really, and she did amazing. It was fantastic.
I do like how they emphasized how white these people are multiple times in the film. Like, I would have voted for Obama for a third time. And then at the end of the film, when Allison Williams is sitting on her bed, wearing all white, eating Fruit Loops one at a time,
and dry Fruit Loops and drinking milk out of a glass.
Yeah, like wow,
the whitest thing you could ever do.
The whitest and yet somehow the most unsettling.
Oh my god, it was so creepy. And what was she listening to? She was listening to something like, I don't know. It's just like, I'm never gonna give you up.
I mean, it's like a stereotypical like 80s pop song.
Yeah, just like.
And then on top of that, she's looking at more prospective black men to kidnap.
I think her exact search was
top NCAA prospects.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have all these fucking like black basketball, like college stars that are popping up, and she's just like thumbing through the images, looking for the hottest ones, for the buffest ones, for the strongest ones.
And that song that they played is I've Had the Time of My Life.
Oh my God.
Right. Just like it's.
Oh my God.
It was like the whole like these people are white thing was a little much. Like at the end it was like, we get it, they're white. I mean, it was like.
No, but it's like, yeah. In my head I'm going, there's no way that these people exist. But also in the back of my mind I'm going, these people do exist. There are people that are that white. I mean, I'm white. And I'm going, God damn it, these people are white. Like, that's how white these people are. So,
But, as much as I ragged on Allison Williams' performance and the fact that every time I look at her, all I can see is her ass being eaten out on an episode of Girls that I've never seen the show. I've just seen the gif of her ass being eaten out.
What? That's a thing? Yeah. I got to look it up.
Yeah. It'll be down in the text below. No, as much as that's all I think about, and her like terrible performance in Peter Pan Live 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago?
Yeah. With Christopher Walken as Hook. The way that she flips that switch at the end of the film is so terrifying.
Oh my God. She just went from like your basic average white girl, family lives in fucking Connecticut and she lives in New York shit, to like full on, no emotion, psycho robot. Like, it was fucking terrifying.
I can't give you those keys, Chris.
I was just like, fuck. That was the whole part where like she couldn't find the keys in her purse. That was when I was like, maybe she's hypnotized so that like she like physically can't help him because she's hypnotized. Like, her keys are right there in the purse. I was like, I can hear the keys in the purse. They're there, bitch. Just grab them.
And then she pulls them out with her hand on them.
She's just like, sorry, can't give you the keys.
It's really good. Like, her performance is really good at the end of the film, but throughout like the rest of the film, there's not a whole lot to it.
Well, it's not really a performance. It's just like being a white girl.
All it is it's there so that the turn at the end of the film is much more terrifying.
Her performance is all about the drastic shift.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden she is this soulless, like emotionless,
complicit
robotic
monster.
Yeah, it's just like, oh fuck, she's in on it too. And she's not only in on it, but she's like big in on it, like in a big way.
Yeah, it's not like an accident. She's not accidentally in on it.
Yeah. Which, the one thing that I will say is they did the I won't say that it's like a good or a bad thing, it just is a thing. That like didn't really irk me at the time, but like now that I think about it, is a little on the on the easy way outside. They did the whole he sees like a random closet door that's open and there's a box, and he randomly opens it and looks through the pictures and sees that she's had multiple black boyfriends, and sees like the chick who's the maid and the guy who's the fucking groundskeeper in there, like all with selfies, like with her.
Yeah, it felt a little cheap. Actually, it didn't feel a little cheap. It felt a lot cheap.
Yeah.
It was like completely unnecessary. In retrospect, it's completely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. It is unnecessary. It
kind of like lessens that turn.
It does, because it really preps you for it. Because then you know that she's in on it. So my whole thing is, that was when I went, okay, she's either in on it or she's in on it and she doesn't know that she's in on it because they hypnotized her.
Right.
And I think I would have actually maybe liked that a little bit better. If like she was in on it, but she was hypnotized and didn't know she was in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like maybe at the end of the movie, she has to, maybe at the end of the movie, he has to like kill her because she's like in some like crazy hypnotized state. And then like right when she's about to die, like she gets out of the hypnosis and he doesn't stop. And he kills her anyways. But like you see this glimmer of like the real her right before she dies, but it's too late at that point.
Right.
Like that would have been cool. But I mean, that's small potatoes. It doesn't, like at that point we're splitting hairs on a already awesome movie. I mean, I don't know.
That's just it's just rebooking the film the way we would have wanted. I mean, I think it's yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that I think the film could have done without that scene where he sees the box full of pictures.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I felt was like a little.
It's gilding the lily just a bit.
Yeah, it's not that it's too much. It's just that it's unnecessary. That being said, this movie is only an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's not 2 hours long. It's not 2.5 hours long like some other movie that I saw last week that I thought was going to be amazing and was terrible, and I was really mad about it. Yeah.
Cough, cough, A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah, cough, cough. That movie was terrible. Cough, cough. I'm really pissed that I fucking watched that movie. This movie, even though it's slow, and it's totally slow, and I've expressed my love for slow burn movies several times. I mean, my fucking favorite movie is The Thing, for God's sakes. And that movie is about as slow and about as paranoid as you can make a movie. And this movie definitely harkens back to that feeling where it's all about that paranoid buildup. Like, the whole movie makes you uneasy from the word go all the way up until the end when shit hits the fan.
Right.
And that's what I'm all about. If you can make me feel uneasy and increase that feeling of uneasiness the entire movie up until the point where everything just goes to shit and I go, oh fuck, shit just got real. That's a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
And this movie does it. It does it.
I agree.
I mean,
it's just it takes what Ty West does and does it better than Ty West.
Oh man, those are some fighting words.
That's fine.
You know what though? Ty West hasn't come out with a movie in a while, and I think that he should watch this movie and be like, oh fuck, man, I got some competition.
I mean, I think Ty West could look at this movie and be like, man, I wish I had made this film.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, I don't know. Could Ty West have made this movie? I don't think so.
Not as good as Jordan Peele did. No.
And I mean, I'm a big fan of Ty West, so.
Yeah. Ty West is, well, I mean, I like the idea of Ty West. Some of his films are not great. I like this movie, and I think this movie's great. I don't know. There's not much else to say.
The way that everybody's characters turn is really what does it for me. And it's interesting because Catherine Keener's character doesn't really turn. She goes from this like kind of I mean I don't know. She does a little bit, but it's more
under the surface.
Exactly. Yeah, she's like just creepy enough from the get-go to be that when she turns you're like, yep, knew that shit was going to happen.
Let's not forget that Bradley Whitford doesn't really turn either.
Yeah, he doesn't. But I mean, he also
gets
like
fucking owned. So
he gets owned.
Caleb Landry Jones gets it good.
He gets domed,
and then he gets
with
his
a
head
bocce ball
stomped on after he's been stabbed in the leg.
Yeah, and then he gets stomped on again. It's kind of wonderful. And then Dad gets fucking gored with a goddamn deer. I thought it was really great that they had the whole premise of Chris's mom died in a hit and run when he was 11, and he was just waiting for her to come home and was just sitting on his bed watching TV, and then she didn't show up for an hour, and then she didn't show up for 2 hours, and she didn't show up for 3 hours, and he just kept sitting there just watching TV and like he said he knew that something was wrong and that he should do something or call somebody, but he didn't know what to do, so he just kept sitting there watching TV until somebody came to his house and told him that his mother died. And then they had them, at the beginning of the movie, hit that deer on the road, and the deer was still alive after they hit it. And in the middle of the night, he's dreaming about that deer just like still being alive on the side of the road. It just like echoes his whole like sort of like dealt with issues with his mom. I mean, I don't know. Just really smart, really well done shit.
It's, that whole aspect of the film where the deer is being, kind of used as an analogy, I think is very interesting. And along with the story about his mom.
It's those little things that seem like semi unimportant, like they're not necessarily super integral to like the main story, but like it's those types of things that really make it so that the whole feeling of the movie just ties perfectly into itself.
And there are some really great like things that kind of foreshadow, like when Bradley Whitford's character says, "Oh, we left a piece of mom in here," and he's talking about the maid, the housekeeper, and you don't even realize
it is mom. It's grandma.
Yeah. And then the outside caretaker is their grandfather, who's running in the middle of the night because of the thing with Jesse Owens.
Yep. He's like, sorry, I didn't mean to freak you out because of my exercise or whatever. Yeah. It's
just, it's a very, for someone who's never directed a horror film before, it is an extremely nuanced film. Yeah. And I think that Jordan Peele gets all the praise in the world for that.
There was the whole section where they were talking about, now we can finally talk about the section where they talk about why they keep choosing black people. It's like, when the guy who turns out to be the art
Stephen Root
collector. Yeah. I actually went to school with his son. We were friends in college and shit. So that was weird. Anyways, when he's sort of explaining via old timey TV to Chris, like why they're doing what they're doing or what they're going to do, and he says, like some people, he's like, why black people? He's like, I know what you're thinking. Why black people? Whatever. And he's like, some people, some people want it for the, athletic ability. Some people want it for the fact that it's cool because you have that one guy who's like, being black is very in vogue right now or whatever. And then you have, some people who want it for, I don't know, some other, bullshit.
It's in vogue. Or whatever. One of the guys says it's in vogue.
Yeah.
Stephen Root, who just says, no, it's because I want your sense of artistic eye.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care. He's like, honestly, I could give a shit if you're black or not. He's like, I just want it for your eyes. So even the movie keeps going back to his eyes. Like this whole movie is centered around his eyes. It's amazing. I mean, the fact that he's like a photographer. They really cast the hell out of this character. I mean, to think about how they must have had all of these things written ahead of time. And then to have this actor who can pull it off so well is just amazing to me. Like we can give Jordan Peele all the praise in the world for writing a terrific script and directing the hell out of it. But your main character is your whole bread and butter. And without him, you don't have the movie that you have.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. As much credit goes to Jordan Peele, a lot of it goes to Daniel Kaluuya as well. So
yeah, it's between the two of them. They make this movie amazing. And, and the fact that, you have the seriousness and the, heaviness of this movie mixed in with the funniness of this movie. And, you have the friend character who's like, sounds crazy and is also funny about it, but it's also right at the same time.
And says it at the end.
Yeah.
Told you so. I didn't want to say it, but I told you so.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but I told you not to go to that chick's house. That's it. I told you not to go in that house.
Amazing.
So yeah.
And those are funny moments that don't feel forced.
They don't. It feels really cathartic. And like I said, I'm used to watching horror movies, and a big part of horror movies is having those tension release moments, like where you have a funny thing that happens.
They diffuse the horror.
Exactly. Like you have to have that in a horror movie. Otherwise, like you just feel like shit afterwards because you've just been tense for the last 2 hours, like freaking out about some shit. If you don't have these like tension release moments, you don't walk out of the movie a happy person. You walk out of the movie like depressed and sad and pissed off. And so to have this movie be so successful in how like tense and paranoid it made me feel, but also how much it made me laugh, like openly laugh in the movie theater, is a true testament to how successful the writing and directing and acting in this movie. It's fantastic. It's definitely gonna be one of my like top 5 favorite movies of the year, probably of the last like couple of years, like just off the top of my head.
So what would you say your favorite performance from the film is, since, you're not going to say not watch it?
Daniel, the main actor. This whole movie hinges on him, and his performance is fantastic. It all goes back to his eyes. There's a lot of sequences where he doesn't say a lot, like verbally, but his eyes say a lot. And it's a really nuanced performances in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, this movie has a lot of non-nuanced performances. You have this family who goes from one end of the spectrum to the complete crazy 180 degree of being like the psycho murdering, brain transplanting, like cult organization. And so like their performances have to be big,
Right.
Everybody is there. They have to have these big personalities that have to shift in crazy ways in order for you to really feel the change. And his performance, he feels like for the majority of the movie, for the entirety of the movie, he's like one of the only people that feels normal the entire time. And that is exactly what it should have been. And he nailed it perfectly. 10 out of 10. Way to fucking go, dude.
I completely agree. I'm not going to say he's my best performance of the film because you did. I will say, though, my favorite performance for the film is Caleb Landry Jones. I haven't seen him in anything else that I can remember. Apparently, he was in X-Men.
He's also in Antiviral. If you've never seen that movie, you should totally fucking see it. It's totally weird, like sci-fi horror genre movie.
He was great. Like we've said, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this movie that's like oscillating between two extremes, and his performance is one of them. I mean, his performance is like hardcore oscillating between two extremes. So, but he nails it. It works. It works in the context of this film. So he's great. I think his performance is good. I think Daniel Kaluuya's performance is is better, obviously. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya's performance, like you said, the whole film hinges on his performance. So
yeah, the whole movie is about him. I mean, I don't know. Catherine Keener was amazing in this movie. Like,
everybody is great except for Allison Williams is like first half of her performance.
Because it doesn't feel like a performance. She just feels normal.
Yeah, she's just playing herself. It just feels regular. Yeah.
And so I think what makes her performance great is that for the first 2/3 of the movie, it's just her just being a basic white girl, which doesn't feel like a performance. It doesn't feel like anything because really it shouldn't feel like anything. And then when she makes that switch, it makes it so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to eat dry cereal and sip milk ever again.
Well, who does that? Psycho.
Nobody. Psycho white people do that. I do not do that.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
If you do that and you listen to this podcast, go seek help immediately. Stop transferring brains out to and from black people and just join the rest of society as like a normal, weird person.
Well, I'd ask you what the film has on Rotten Tomatoes, but we've already mentioned the film has a 99%. Mr. Armand White is the only holdout. He's the same person who gave There Will Be Blood a bad review. So let's be honest, this guy is like a professional movie troll. So,
oh man, he's just a hater, just a full-on hater.
Yeah. Professional movie troll Armand White.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, right.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Got him. Before I talk about next week's Kulturecast, Mr. Kniss, anything you want to plug, talk about?
Nah, man, we got nothing going on. I have new musical things are happening, but I can't really talk about them yet. When there are things to talk about, I will talk about them. Otherwise, just fucking keep keeping.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kulturestash. If you like what you're hearing now, head on over to cultureshock.com/Kulturecast. We're also on iTunes, Stitcher, Radio, and sometimes we're on Mixlr when we're doing this shit live.
Sometimes we are.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
I still have to make a Mixlr account because I didn't know you had to make an account to talk shit on people.
Right, yeah. These two fucking clowns.
I need to make a Mixlr account so that the next time we do it live, I can talk shit on us while we're doing it. And you'll just be like, this one guy keeps talking shit.
Shitception,
who the fuck is this guy?
Shitception,
and I'll be like, I don't know, dude. That guy's a fucking dick.
So you can check us out. Give us a favorable review on iTunes if you like us, because that'd help other movie fans find our little podcast.
Do it. You won't.
Patreon.com/culture_shocked is where you can go to kick a couple dollars our way. Help us out. If you go on there are different reward levels if you are a backer for the Kulturecast and the Culture Shocked website as a whole. So check those out. We'll send you a DVD of our choosing. We'll mention you on a Kulturecast, or if you're so inclined, you can even be on a Kulturecast. So if that's a thing that you want, go right ahead and kick a couple dollars our way.
Do it.
Wovoka.bandcamp.com is where you can go to hear Mr. Kniss's band, Wovoka, where they can Browntown the Snowtown out of your ear holes.
It's true.
I've heard him. I've heard him. So yeah, check them out. And next week we are going to be starting on Sports Movie Month. And next week we are going to be starting in on our Sports Movie Month with a little film called Hot to Trot. Features one of my favorite actors, Mr. Bobcat Goldthwait, as a man who talks to a horse, which is a thing.
I don't know a lot about Bobcat Goldthwait, but I'm pretty sure that guy could talk to horses in real life. I'm just saying, with a name like Bobcat, you can't not.
With a name like Bobcat. No, you're right. It's, Bobcat Goldthwait is one weird dude. Yeah, so make sure to check that one out.